10 PIXAR'S Luca characters as humans. PIXAR'S Luca, probably the most loved animated movie of this year, mainly due to its fun and joyful storyline that makes you want to go to the Italian Riviera and live the life that Alberto and Luca enjoyed that summer. A summer full of beautiful moments, happiness, and new friends that Luca meets along the way, like the brave and funny Giulia and the unforgettable Alberto, who becomes Luca's best friend. All of this and a lot more is what Luca goes through in that beautiful summer. The movie has been a sound success because of its great mix of important points that every animated movie must have. Luca has a beautiful and fun storyline that makes every watcher have fun, laugh, and cry at the same time. All of the emotions mixed in one movie. The effects and colors are in another completely different level. The skin, the scales, the vivid colors of the Italian coast make the movie an absolute joy to watch. Luca's plot starts with the life of a sea fish boy called Luca Paguro. Luca's an adventurous kid who is tired of his life underwater. He wants something else and doesn't know where to find it, but one day he finds objects from the surface, which leads him to meet another fish called Alberto, who actually lives in the surface with humans. Alberto shows Luca that he turns into a human once he steps on the surface. Alberto pulls Luca out of the water, and here's where the adventures start. Alberto and Luca go through incredible adventures together in the town of Portorosso in the Italian Riviera. But in this beautiful movie of Luca, the greatest things are the characters. The characters are what make the movie so fun to watch. And these characters are either human or sea fishes in Luca. Only Luca, Alberto, his parents, and the elderly women change forms in the movie. As for the rest, we only see them in one form, either as humans or sea monsters. So wouldn't you like to know how some of these characters will look like on the other side? Like Uncle Ugo, for example. How would he look like if he came out of the water? Well, this is what I'm going to be showing you here today. So without further ado, let's get straight into the 10 PIXAR'S Luca characters as humans. Uncle Ugo, one of the funniest characters in Luca. Uncle Ugo is Luca's mom's brother and the one that Luca's mom calls when she wants Luca to live his interest for the human world. Uncle Ugo comes and offers Luca to show him the depths of the ocean to forget about the surface, to which obviously Luca replies with a sound no. I mean, who wants to see that? Being voiced by none other than Sacha Baron Cohen, Uncle Ugo is the key funny character in Luca. So much so, the director dedicated an entire scene to the goofy words of Uncle Ugo at the end of the credits. It's a really funny and important scene because it shows you the personality of Uncle Ugo in more depth, and you see how funny the guy is. But Uncle Ugo never gets out of the water in the movie. In Luca, we only see him in his sea form, and we also see him in the poster that Luca's parents walk past. And we know from Luca and Luca's parents' experience that Uncle Ugo would also turn into a human if he walked on land. But in the movie, he never does it. So how would Uncle Ugo look like if he came out of the water? Well, the moment of the truth, he would look just like this. Yeah, amazing, right? This is an animation made by a huge Luca fan that imagined what Ugo would look like on land. We can see that this is a very accurate representation. His crossed eyes are still there, but in his human form. Also, if you remember, Uncle Ugo had a visible heart in his abdomen. Well, this is also seen in his human form. His human heart and chest can be seen as in the water. It's kind of scary and weird. We can also see from Luca and Luca's parents that the hair doesn't go away in the transformation process. Because of this, since Uncle Ugo was bald underwater, he's also bald as a human. But instead of the light on his head, he has a bunch of little pointy hairs sitting there. It looks kind of scary, to be honest. He doesn't look as friendly as Luca and Alberto, doesn't he? Overall, this animation is absolutely awesome and gives us an image of how human Uncle Ugo would look like. Alberto's father is the biggest mystery in Luca. We don't know anything about his whereabouts, neither does his son Alberto. During the movie, Luca and Alberto fight because Luca wants to go to Giulia's school, but Alberto tells them that they won't accept him as soon as they realize that he's a sea fish. Here, the two fight and Alberto reveals his real identity in front of Giulia. After this, Luca goes to Alberto to try to make up, but here Alberto tells Luca something he didn't know. He never knew his father. He abandoned him when he was a kid. This story broke the heart of every person that watched it, and of course, Luca. Now, in the movie, we never see Alberto's father. We don't know how he looks like, neither as a human or a sea monster. But we know for a fact that he would turn into a human if he touched land, just like his son. But we don't see him in the movie, so how would Alberto's father look like if he would actually see him? Well, he would look just like this. We see him as a human on the left and as a sea monster on the right. As a human, he has the classic Italian mustache, and he's also wearing the same classic Italian clothes as a human. We can also see that as opposed to Uncle Ugo, he has hair on his head just like his son, and his face, come on, he looks exactly exactly like Alberto. Then we see him as a sea monster. Just like with all the Luca characters, the appearance doesn't change much when they go into the water or vice versa. So we see that he still has a mustache underwater, and we can also see that he has the same skin color as his son, since the son inherited the color from his dad, as opposed to Luca, who has a greenish color. This artwork is kind of sad because you get to see Alberto's dad in a way that we can't see in the movie, which makes you wonder, why did he abandon Alberto? Like, the question is always there. This feeling becomes even more sad when we see the next picture. Here we see Alberto's father with mini Alberto. We can see that the father is talking while baby Alberto is looking at him with absolute joy and cuteness. We can see that he was very happy around his father. The main antagonist of Luca is Ercole Visconti, a rich kid who first appears in the movie when Luca and Alberto first enter the city of Portorosso. They go into the city to find a Vespa, and all of a sudden they see a guy riding a Vespa through the city. Ercole parks it, and when Luca kicks a ball and lands on Ercole's Vespa, he starts his animosity towards them. Here he presents himself as Ercole Visconti, 3-time winner of the Portorosso Cup. After this, Ercole doesn't leave the boys alone and follows them wherever they go to find out where they're really up to because, you know, he sees something fishy in them. Now, Ercole Visconti doesn't turn into a fish when he goes into the water or touched by water. If he had these powers, he would still follow them underwater, we can bet that. But since we are in a video of what ifs, what if Ercole Visconti was like Luca and turned into a sea monster when going into the water? Well, this is it. Ercole Visconti as a sea monster. As with the previous ones, this one was also made by a big Luca fan. Like the other ones, this is a very accurate representation of Ercole as a sea monster. Here we can see him with the same smug attitude on his face, thinking that he's the king of Portorosso, but as a sea monster, you know. We can also see him with membranes on his nose like Machiavelli, and his ears are also fish ears instead of human. And the thing that couldn't be missing in a sea monster is the tail. It is very similar to that one of Luca, Alberto, and his other species. Overall, if we compare the human Ercole and the fish Ercole Visconti, we can see that the sea monster animation is a whole more accurate than you think. It doesn't matter if he's a human or a fish, Ercole will always be Ercole, a smug, boastful, rich kid. One of the best characters in Luca is without a doubt Giulia's father. He's kinda scary at first sight, he doesn't have an arm, has a very strong and big presence, and a huge mustache and eyebrows. Overall, he doesn't look like the kind of person you would want to come across at some point in your life. But deep inside him, he's a cool guy. That's why he's one of my favorite characters. He's the one that helps Luca and Alberto get into the race with his daughter, and also the one who defends Luca and Alberto when they're discovered as sea monsters in front of the whole town of Portorosso. He's always been supportive of his daughter and her friends, even when he doesn't have a lot of money to do it. He's the face of every loving, humble, and hardworking father in the world. Big props to the man himself, Massimo Marcovaldo. Now, Massimo is one of the characters in the movie that we only get to see him in one form, as a human, but we never get to see him as a sea monster. So let's turn it around a little bit and do the opposite. How would Massimo Marcovaldo actually look like if he went into the water and turned into a sea monster? Well, here you go. This is an animation made by a kid who is a big fan of Luca, and as such, he drew Giulia's dad as a sea monster. As we can see, this is actually a very accurate representation of how Massimo Marcovaldo would actually look like underwater. If we compare the two pictures together, we can see that the kid has done a pretty good job, to be honest. We can see that his big mustache and eyebrows are still there, but he's underwater. But instead of human ears, he has fish ears. Unfortunately, he's still missing an arm underwater, and it's adapted to the water by having a fish form. Now, in this amazing artwork, we can also see the legendary Machiavelli, Giulia's cat. We see him as a fish, still very suspicious and angry at Luca and Alberto. In the movie, the cat has the same mustache as Massimo, and in this artwork, we see him with a long French-like mustache, which is a reference to the membranes that some fishes have. We also see him with his wife and little fish babies, so overall, it's an amazing artwork. Now, from the last scene of the movie, we know that Luca and Alberto are still best friends. There's no doubt about that. So it's very likely that the three guys, Alberto, Luca, and Giulia, will grow up together. But obviously, we don't see this in the movie. We only see them as kids. So how would the two guys look like in their growing phase? Their teenage years, adult years, working years, etc. Well, let's take a look. Here's how the two best friends would look like in their teenage years. Here, Luca is showing Alberto the great mysteries of the cosmos and teaching him about it, since he went to Giulia's school and was also fascinated about the universe in the movie. Then, in this one, we see them talking on the phone as teenagers. We gotta remember that Luca lives with Giulia now, so this is how they're keeping up with each other. Luca's studying for high school, while Alberto is cooking some fish. Fast forward to their 20s, now Luca and Alberto are studs. They have grown up and they're partying, going out with friends, driving. We can see that Luca's now a completely different person. He has grown up from the kid in the movie and is now enjoying his 20s with Alberto by his side as a sea monster. Here we can also see him in his 20s playing with the legendary Machiavelli. All of their problems are now in the past, and they're enjoying life together. Finally, fast forward to their 30s, here we see them as full-grown adults with their jobs and everything. Luca's most probably an astrophysicist or a cosmologist, and Alberto is probably a fisherman. They have normal family lives and are still best friends. Really, really cool. And well, my guys, that's all the dose of DJ there is for today. I hope you liked this video and liked all this cool fan art about Luca's world. If you liked them, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one, my guys. Peace!